What's up, guys? Jerome here, and today we are talking about the biggest changes that need to happen in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery. Everything from addressing the complaints of the most hardcore and serious players, to fixing some of the PvP issues we've been seeing, as well as the economy. We've got a huge video to get into, so let's get right to it. The first thing I want to address is PvP, and I think there can be a lot of PvP improvements in Season of Discovery. Of course, we're going to see a much bigger focus on PvP in Season 2 because we're going to have the Arena Grandmaster and the Title Charm available, and people are going to go crazy for PvP in those areas. But I think the PvP could be much improved for the PvP event as well. So we've got the Ashen Veil event, and people are playing it, they're doing it for the reputation. But imagine instead of this Ultrac Valley style mode where you have to kill bosses, what if there was a named player? So let's say Asmongold gets selected and everybody on the Alliance has to protect Asmongold and everybody on the Horde is trying to kill him at the same time. So instead of this sort of standard PvE mode where you're just kind of rushing down mobs, you could actually be trying to defend and kill somebody on the other side. I think that would be so much better for Phase 2, and I think there's just so much more creative stuff they could do to make the PvP event a lot more fun. There's one other thing about PvP that I really think needs to be looked into, which is the layering. So right now, there are just so many layers, and the PvP is losing a little bit of its luster and a little bit of its stakes. If there could be some things done to cut the layering down further, it could do some really good things for PvP. I just imagine next phase with Arena Grandmaster and Title Charm, if there's something like 11 layers on Crusader Strike, it's really going to take away the prestige and excitement around those items. Hey man, I'm pretty sure PvP improvements would be pretty freaking sweet. But I've been going around getting my runes, and half of them just come from some random farmer or something. I thought this was gonna be Season of Discovery. Where's the discovery part come in? Hey, I'm with you on this one. Okay, I am hugely a fan of the Metamorphosis rune questline. And as a priest, I completely missed out on that, and that's why I'm leveling a warlock myself. I really think every single class needs at least one rune in each phase that is really epic to get and way more creative. I'm not saying every single rune has to be an epic questline, but it's just such an exciting part of the mode for me. But I really don't want to go another phase as priest, just looking at all the other classes doing really cool questlines and all talking to each other about all the awesome stuff they're doing. Meanwhile, as a priest, I'm just traveling around the world killing various mobs to get drops, and it's just not nearly as exciting. That also leads me into the Waylaid supply farming issue, which is that Blizzard wanted there to be at least one rune that everybody had that was some kind of big grind. Waylaid supply farming is certainly that grind. You have to grind so many of these boxes in order to get one of your runes. A big problem with that is that that rune is actually very relevant for some classes. For example, on my priest, I have very, very poor AoE damage. In order to get my big Mindseer rune, I have to do all the Waylaid supply farming. I definitely love the idea of there being a difficult and challenging grind to get one of your runes, but I'm not sure this is the best way to do it. I really like the idea of it being some kind of consistent grind where you get consistent results every time. Grinding mobs and not getting anything, or grinding chests and not getting anything in the chest can be very, very frustrating. Hopefully the Waylaid supply farming can become much more consistent in future phases. I'm sure we're going to be doing it again for another rune, but it could definitely be improved. Am I the only person here who feels like there's just not enough to do in this mode? Maybe there should be a more serious grind in the next phase to really reward the most serious players like me. This is actually another complaint that I've been seeing from some of the very best players in the game, like Ompi. They're enjoying the mode, they're loving the mode, but they're running out of things to do after only putting in, say, 80 to 100 hours. So the problem is the character identity is being lost a little bit, where you can't really work for 300 hours straight on your character and really build this huge advantage and this really big personal connection to your character. I'm not saying you have to give them some crazy legendary item just for putting in more hours. There should be something, though, that you can work towards that takes a long time and is visually appealing to other players. Because for me, as a kid, when I saw somebody with a legendary item, it really motivated me to play the game more. It's almost like Blizzard is trying to make a totally different version of Classic. And I'm excited about that myself. I like that. But we have to give the most sweaty, the most grinding players something to work towards, or they might fall off. And I'm worried because a lot of those very good players, they bring big viewership, they bring big excitement to the game. And if they get bored and they're like, man, there's nothing to do anymore, that could actually hurt the mode. Yo, man, I don't know how you got this far in the video without talking about the most important change for Phase 2, which is Dual Spec. I mean, I've got so many different runes, and I never get to use them because I'm always trapped in the same spec. I don't want to pay the respec fee, I can't change the middle of a raid, and I don't want to switch all the time just to PvP. It's kind of a nightmare. Alright, this is something everybody can agree on pretty much, which is that we need Dual Spec with this new rune system. I think Dual Spec would really do something to excite and energize the player base, because when you get these Shadow Priest runes, and you're never going to use them because you're playing Disc Priest, I feel like it takes away something from this mode. When Blizzard is hyping up this melee hunter build, but nobody wants to run it because they'd have to respec completely, I think that takes away from the mode as well. And I think that's something that could really be worked on in the future, especially if we get a Dual Spec. For me, these are just the very basics of what I want to see changed in the next phase. The coolest thing is Blizzard is clearly listening to us. They want to hear your feedback, and they want to make this mode as awesome as possible. It's such a different thing than they've ever done before. Such a departure from the normal classic that we've been getting for years and years and years. You need to post on the forums. You need to post on Reddit. You need to go out there and voice your complaints and the things you actually like, because they need your feedback. And I need your feedback as well. I want you to leave me comments. I want you to tell me what you need to see changed in this mode, what you agree with in my points, what you disagree with. The points we can agree on, I will definitely do everything I can to make the Reddit post, to make the forum post, that Blizzard will see, and hopefully we can get some big changes made in this mode, because I'm having a really fun time, and I'm sure we can have even more fun in next phase. If you like this video, I highly recommend my exploits video, where I go through all the biggest exploits the best players are doing right now to get a huge advantage. You can check that video out right now and get some of these exploits and advantages for yourself.